I think I had a toque on and a mask, my coat, and I'm just going through this chicken on sale that I've been sent out to buy. And I'm going through, do I want this one? I'm trying to find the right, which thing of chicken breast looks the best. Mm-hmm. And I hear this voice say, the radio station's not the same since you left.
Aww.
You go,
random guy?
And I just went, thank you, but it's fine. I said, I think they're fine. But then I thought to myself afterwards, when somebody says that to you, they're absolutely right. It can't be the same since I left because I'm not there.
Yes.
Right.
It's not
It
the
is
same.
different. You're right.
It is not the same since
That's
I left.
true.
You are absolutely
Different
right.
by definition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. By definition, that is exactly true.
Yeah.
Which I could bring up. But
I did. I went to the wine and food show, and I was getting wine from Quadavin, and they had a really good Pinot Noir. Shout out.
Cadovan. It's Cadovan. Or something.
I don't know.
like
Whatever.
that. Yeah.
Anyway, the girl serving was like, "Did you used to be on the radio?" I said, "Yes." She's like, "Oh my gosh, I loved you guys. We miss you so much." And I was like, "Oh, that's really nice," but I didn't think anyone cared anymore. So that was really nice of her.
Well, that's so long ago, right?
Yeah.
It feels like it's forever ago. This is Due to Underwhelming Demand with Dave, Rachel, and Forman. And just in case you were wondering, Rachel did see her shadow. And, of course, that means 6 more weeks of this lousy podcast. Because that joke never gets old.
Never gets old.
Nope.
Yeah.
It never gets
If
old.
I see my shadow, there's 6 more weeks of the podcast, and if I don't, it's an early break. Is that how that goes? Okay, just
sure.
checking. I don't know.
Sure, whatever. I wouldn't waste your time on it. Okay. But,
No.
but,
We just had a big long break,
Yes, we did.
which was also my fault.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, this is the podcast is back. For those who were wondering, and we will we love getting your messages, and we will talk about that towards the end of the podcast today. But we have been on an extended break. It was not an intentional extended break.
No,
And this
no.
is where I will let Rachel take over.
Well, this isn't really this is not a fun story because I thought, well, what am I going to talk about when we come back? This isn't not fun. My husband was very, very ill. He got sick right after Christmas with pancreatitis, and he ended up in the hospital for 3 weeks, kind of on and off, almost a month actually, on and off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
wow,
it was really quite dire at some point, just not to get too far into it. But he had really bad pancreatitis, and then a lot really severe acute pancreatitis, and a lot of complications with that as well. So he was in the hospital for a long time. So I said to these guys, I'm not available. I'm at the hospital every day. I was pretty much living there. And then other people were taking care of the kids. Like it was, we were flying by the seat of our pants all the time. So he's okay now. He's at home. It's been a month, and he's recovering, but it's going to be a long recovery.
It'll be a long, slow process.
It'll be a long, slow process. Yeah. So I don't know how much I should tell you about it, but pancreatitis.
Because that sounds like a lot, less severe than it was.
No, this was.
Oh my
look,
gosh! It is. Yeah. I wasn't sure he was ever going to come home, to be honest. That's how bad it was.
That's how serious it was.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was pretty, and it came out of nowhere. So the top 3 causes of pancreatitis are excessive alcohol use, high triglycerides, which is kind of like high cholesterol, or gallstones.
Right.
So all 3 of those things were ruled out. Although they quiz you a lot on your alcohol use when you have
let me just say
pancreatitis
that.
in the
I was like,
hospital,
I'm not
because
gonna let
everybody
that go.
thinks he's an alcoholic, and I'm like, no, we don't drink that much at all.
No, and let me just say that when this was communicated to both Forman and I, and we had a very brief messages with you. The first thing I did, and I'm pretty sure Forman did the same thing at some point.
First thing everybody did.
You get on your phone and
You Google it.
You Google pancreatitis to find out, well, what is that? What causes that? What
A lot of people told me that. Oh, I Googled it. I didn't,
Yes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
right,
What's the
I didn't know what it
treatment
was
for that?
either.
Yeah, and then I recalled, because at one point I think you were sharing updates on social media, which we all appreciated because we all wanted to know how Jeremy was doing. And so you would do,
Right.
rather than try to talk to everybody, as you have told us, you gave one post so that everybody had an idea of how he was doing.
Right.
And at one point, you said the causes are alcohol, which has been ruled out, and then you listed the other two that you mentioned, gallstones and I think triglycerides. But then I recalled, I read and he's no longer with us. I read the Matthew Perry book. You know, the one that he was out flogging once he had got himself clean and did all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And the book, for anybody that's read that book, and it is not a fun book to read. I mean, Matthew Perry was a funny guy, and one of the many celebrities we lost last year. But the book opens with him in excruciating pain.
Yeah.
Like he thought his stomach was going to explode. And he was, rushed to hospital. He had, you have assistants living with you when you're that big a celebrity, I guess. And he's rushed to hospital, and they tell him, you've got pancreatitis. And if you know anything about Matthew Perry's story, is he was an addict. And he fully admitted that, from painkillers and drugs like that to alcohol, where he, in fact, would drink excessive. And when I say excessive, we're talking bottles daily of alcohol. So you can understand, and then they tell him, when he's in the hospital, you got pancreatitis because
Yeah.
because of what you do.
Well, and some people never get it, right? And they
Yes.
are alcoholics. So you just don't know. But a lot of times with pancreatitis, it's idiopathic, which means they don't know the cause.
It just
and that
happens.
was Jeremy's case. They don't know the cause. He had endless tests every day, multiple tests, blood work 3-4 times a day.
Oh my!
It was, crazy stuff. I mean, they were poking and prodding, and it was just awful all the time. And they don't know the cause. So that makes it hard, because now he's home and we don't really know how to prevent it from happening again. For instance, if it was alcohol use, due to alcohol use, you stop drinking, right? That should help prevent it. But this, we don't know in his case. So that's hard. But he lost a lot of weight, a lot of muscle, a lot of strength. He lost probably 30 pounds just laying there for however long. And just getting up and around the house kind of wears him out. Although he's getting strength back every day, a little bit better, and he's going for walks. We have a walker for him to go outside with, so he can kind of walk a little bit farther each day, which he's trying to do. But he's
this is
home.
a guy, keep in mind that up to a month and a half ago was in perfect health.
Yes.
I mean,
he was fit and active.
and active.
You know what? The day that he went in was so crazy, because he took care of 4 kids by himself that day. I mean, that wears you out. That would wear me out. But he was fine. And then we all had dinner, and he had, it was just after Christmas. It was December 28th. And then he started throwing up at like 9:30 p.m. and just violently throwing up continuously till we called the ambulance at 4 a.m. And so they came and got him and took him in. And it was just, they knew right away in the hospital that it was pancreatitis from the blood work. But then he developed other complications. So he was on oxygen. He had a tube in his nose to suction out his stomach. He had developed pneumonia. It was hard for him to breathe because there was so much fluid in his belly, and it was pushing on his lungs.
Awful.
So it was one thing after another, and we were there for a long time. I have to say, the nurses, he was in the respirology unit. They were amazing. They were so good to him and to me, because I was there every day, and they all kind of knew who I was at that point. And they were so good about updating us on things and just caring for him. And they were always in there. Everybody knew his situation and his case. And he would have the same nurse for a few days in a row, which was nice, because then they got to know him and how to care for him. And they were amazing. They got me a bed, like a chair bed to sleep in.
Yes.
I can't say enough about the nurses who advocate for you and who take care of you. They are the ones who are doing so much. They talk to the doctors for you. They'll page the doctors. They'll get results for you if you need, or get the doctor to come and tell you the results. They're amazing. They were amazing. I can't say enough about these nurses. So thank you to all of them who, and I mean, there's too many for me to list, but there were so many that looked after him, and they were awesome. So now he's home, and he came home maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now from the second stint, because he did come home for 5 days. Then we had to call the ambulance again because he was in a lot of pain and he had to go back. And there's really no cure for pancreatitis. Like there's no treatment. Well, I guess the treatment is you rest the pancreas. So you have like clear fluids, or you're on an IV, or you're not really eating a lot, because that's what creates your insulin levels and stuff. So you want to rest the pancreas, and then you treat all the other symptoms that come up, like pain. So you give pain meds and you just rest. So that's kind of what he was trying to do, but developed a lot of other complications in the meantime, which was pretty scary. So he's home now, and that's why we were off for a bit longer than we had planned.
So for those of you who were annoyed that we haven't been around, don't you feel very bad?
No.
Don't you feel guilty now when you find out that we had a very good reason? And listen, Dave and Forman had, we were given the option of from Rachel, who just said, well, you can do it without me. But,
No,
you know,
we can't.
and we just
you
said,
could have.
no, we can't.
You can't.
No, we couldn't.
It's a
And
three.
we
Well,
were-
now it's not a radio show. We can do it whenever we want.
Yeah,
So you
so-
can wait.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
can wait.
So we're just happy that we were able to come back and do the podcast and to catch up with one another, because this gives us
Yeah, we haven't even really talked to each other.
No, we haven't.
Well, you two
Yeah.
have. I haven't really talked
We
to
haven't
anybody.
talked to each other so much that we almost forgot to tell you that the podcast, by the way, is brought to you by HCR Permanent Search.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, we have a new major sponsor.
Yep.
We're delighted to have them. We're delighted to be back. We're going to tell you more about them a little later in the podcast, but we're just happy to be back, Rachel. We're happy. Give Jeremy, give him our love.
All
right,
your
Forman?
love? Yeah.
All of our love. Maybe a
but
wave.
but do it in
Good
a way
thoughts.
that we
High
that we would
fives.
do it. You know, yeah, high five him. Or,
Fist
you know.
bumps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's too
fist
bad
bump.
that you
Yeah,
still
we'll do it.
need a pancreas, eh? Because
Yeah.
like I'm
I know, I
I'm
kinda
running
thought-
without an appendix and I'm just fine.
Well, I was actually kind of hoping that it was from gallstones and we could just take the gallbladder out.
Yeah,
But
let's get rid of it.
that
but
wasn't
no.
the case,
Ah,
unfortunately.
that's too bad.
He still has all of his organs.
This is due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast. Well, it's the Usher Super Bowl halftime show of podcasts, although I would argue that even we are more relevant.
Then Usher.
Yeah.
Well, we're all has-beens now, so
Well, that's
I don't
true.
know.
I did ask my 17-year-old if, do you know who Usher is? And she rolled her eyes at me and said, Dad, yes.
Oh,
I
she
said,
does?
Okay. Yeah, I said, okay. Well, do you know any of his songs? No.
she could
You
have said
got
yeah.
it, got it bad. That one.
No. Anyway, so we are back. The
Usher was
podcast
like
is
my
back.
my early 2000s. That was my
Yes.
whole
This
yeah.
is the 2004 halftime show, not
Yeah,
the
that's-
2020
yeah,
one.
Yeah,
why is it
really.
the 20? Yes.
It's really
Why
20
is
years.
Taylor Swift watching the game and Usher performing at
That's
it?
we can't
What?
figure that
right.
out. I
Didn't
don't
she
know.
say no though? Didn't they ask her? I
Probably.
can't remember.
She should
Because
say
she
no.
doesn't have to do.
She doesn't
the
have to do it.
Super
You don't
Bowl.
get paid, right? So
No.
She uses her acceptance speeches to announce new albums now.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
free.
she does. That's what she does.
Not so humble anymore, as it turns out.
no. The feigning I'm shocked face we're all
Yeah,
used to
like-
now, right?
Yeah, but come on. You know she's going to win at least one. So yeah,
Oh,
you
yes,
got it,
of course.
You got it ready to go.
Of course.
Okay, Forman, what's new? What's going on?
Not winning any awards, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah,
You're
and-
not even working, are you?
No, about as relevant as Usher is at the 2024 Super Bowl.
Now the only place where you can hear all of us, including Forman, is on this podcast.
That's
It's
right.
the exclusive home of all three, together and individually.
Yes, that's right. Nobody's working in radio anymore.
No, although at least one of us would like to. If
Yeah.
anyone's
Oh.
Hey,
listening.
two of us would like to.
Oh,
Stop
would you?
it.
Okay,
No,
well, I don't know.
absolutely. Why not?
Yeah.
I miss
Why
it.
not?
I just don't miss the hours for sure.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you know, and you actually are, you have a thriving business.
I
Forman
do.
and
Yeah, more thriving than I
Yeah.
thought.
Yes, Forman and I do not.
No,
No.
You know.
we do
Someday.
not.
Someday.
So yeah, at least this time I got to say goodbye. on the radio.
Good what?
better
Sorry,
than
good
the
what?
last
Did
time.
you say goodbye?
Yeah, goodbye.
Did you say it like that too? You live in Ontario now. You know that, right?
It'll take some time.
Yeah.
Time. Take some time.
Yeah. I blame Scotty and everybody else there. So yeah, I said goodbye because I've been in St. Thomas since November, and now at the time
Right.
of this recording, it's the beginning of February, and so yeah, they decided that that would be
Decided.
it.
Yeah. Well, you're not
I
here.
cannot with your accent.
Yeah.
Like,
Sorry.
what the hell?
I know.
Okay.
You're not here. We would rather. I think this was one of those. Well, I can do it from. I'm easily doing it from home, and you were. Right?
Yes.
You were doing it from the your basement in St. Thomas.
Yeah.
Where there are 25%.
I'd say the comfort
more,
of, but it was
20
all barren and dark.
25% more basements. Anyway, so
But
you
now
were able
now there's going to be 100% more basement because there's a couple of guys down there right now finishing it off.
fixing
Oh,
it up.
okay,
Perfect.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
So you were doing your morning show remotely, and it was all working out fine. But apparently, that's not what they were looking for.
No.
No,
I mean, it's not. It's in all fairness, it's not the ideal situation to do it
Right.
so far away.
Yeah.
Well, it's ideal for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you got
there
to
are
do.
other duties that I was performing there as well, and my co-host Melody was still on mat leave, and she'll be back in the summer, and maybe if we could have held out till then, the gang's back together again and keep on rolling, but
Right.
that is not the case. So, yeah.
Right.
So good time to spend some money and finish a basement.
Sure.
Yes, you're
Why
spending a
not?
lot of money considering
Yeah.
you're not
But
working.
Spencer and Brandon from Railway City Renovation, shout out because they're fantastic guys.
Oh, great.
Doing a great job looking after things we weren't even thinking of. And it's basically only been a month, and they're pretty much just about entirely done the whole basement.
What?
In only a month, and it's just two of them.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, and they didn't know. They knew that, so the one room will be the spare room / office
Yeah.
/ please make it soundproof for radio purposes, depending on what I ever end up doing.
Yeah.
At least for this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they were all fine with that. And it turns out that the company that makes the soundproof insulation, they're on strike. So it's really hard to find soundproof insulation right now.
Wow.
So they went to
boy.
places all over St. Thomas and London and found one place that had just enough for them to go get in the north end, which from the north end of London to the south end of St. Thomas is like a whole day to drive through both towns.
Yep.
It's far. So they got it, and they were just chatting with the owner of the store, and I didn't get the name of the store or the guy's name, and I should have got that before doing this. So apologies, because he will hear this, because they explained, oh yeah, our clients that we're doing a basement for just came back from Nova Scotia, and they want a soundproof room because he does some work for some radio stations. And immediately the guy at the store says, is it Forman?
Forman!
Right away.
Now, do they even know that it's you because that's not your
No.
real name?
No, because their response was, who?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
That's not what we're calling him.
And the guy is
Well,
like,
that's good.
Yeah, he was on the show with these other guys that was in London, and now he went to Nova Scotia. Here's a video of this podcast. And they said, well, yeah,
Oh.
that sure looks like him.
Yeah, same
That's
guy.
him. That's him.
Well, great.
And I think then the story went to one of them called their wife or fiance or partner, and asked, hey, have you ever heard of this Forman? And he was on a show with Rachel and Dave. And she, I think, said, yes, I had to hit pause on the podcast to take this call to tell you that, yes, I know who they are.
Oh,
And I love
thank you
them.
for listening. That's so nice. Thank
Wow.
Yeah, so then they come back like, well, we didn't know we were working on a celebrity's house.
you. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. That
Well,
happened.
not anymore.
That happened to me when I had as you know, because we talked about it, I had some work done here that lasted a lot longer than your basement is lasting. I can
Yes.
tell you
Yeah,
that.
you should have hired these guys.
And no one, a lot of the guys that were in here didn't know. And I told you they would be listening to the radio and everything else. And then I was outed one day because when I left, when we packed it in, Rachel, I took what little I had. I didn't. We had moved from. We used to be on Wellington Road South, and then we had moved over to the CTV studios, which are up on a plot of land that just sits in the middle of South London. Like
It's actually the highest point in London, which is why they built it there, because that's where the TV transmitter is.
And there's a plot of, like, when you looked out the windows there was a whole. I could have played golf back there. It's all weeds and tall grass, but it was. It seems to go forever. But anyway, we cleaned out the old radio station, so I brought a lot of stuff home, and I didn't want to have a lot of stuff at. I always felt like I had way too much at that old radio station because you gather stuff over the years, and I had been there for a long time, because I always feel like, because I had seen it happen to so many people, Forman, where one day you're there and then one day you're not. And they tell you to get rid, take your stuff. Get your stuff, pack your stuff, and out you go. And I always thought to myself, I don't want to be down there for, several hours packing my stuff.
Well, they don't let you do that anyway. That you have to wait for the engineer to round it all up for you as you wait in the parking lot.
Yes, exactly. I didn't want that. So I thought to myself, before we move to that other place, I'm going to be ready for when they, when it happens to Dave, except it never did. I was always ready. So anyway, I didn't have much to take that last day. I had my arms full. But in that office that we had that we seldom used, we had this big office. There was you, there was me, and there was Gary. And we were the only ones in this big.
Spaghetti arms.
Yeah, it was spaghetti arms. This big office here. I'm telling this. I don't know why I'm telling you a story. But in that office, someone had put in a small billboard that had... they had been up years ago with Dave and Jackie on it, and it was a much younger Dave.
Yes.
And my old partner Jackie, and it was a small mock-up of the billboard, and somebody had put it in. And the minute I saw it, I went, "Oh, thanks for that."
You did take it, right? Because
I took it.
I didn't take it. Okay,
I took it. Good. Anyway, it was down in my basement.
I was like, "It's not me. I'm not taking it."
No, I took it, and it was down in my basement. And one of the guys was doing some work down in the basement, and came back up and said, "Hey, the guy that the guy at the house here, the guy that's always out golfing, that's Dave from Dave and Jackie."
Yeah.
So I got found out too.
Way back when.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to be fun. I mean, this has been a very self-serving segment here, but it's nice
It really has. I'm like, we gotta stop, guys. This is too much.
It was super nice to have goodbye messages. Like, people were calling and texting like crazy in my last day in Halifax.
That's nice.
That
if to only have been there for a couple of years, that was really nice. That's
very nice.
You made somewhat of a connection with a few people, and I tried my best to say, well, by the way, there is another show you can come listen to me on.
Here we are.
So hopefully you're here right now.
Here we are.
And you'll stick around.
Yeah.
I had a guy say, I was in the grocery store the other day, and it's been a while, Rachel, since we've done that radio show. And I just hear, I'm not even I had my head down looking for good chicken breasts. And I hear
Did
this.
You find
voice,
any good breasts?
Yeah, I did find some nice breasts. And I hear this voice say, "The station's not the same since you left."
Aww.
And I looked up and I went, "Oh, thank you." And then I thought, "No, they're fine. They're okay. They're fine." But then afterwards, I thought, he's right. The station isn't the same since I left because I'm not there.
Well, I guess it's going to be different. Yes, I guess so.
Of course, it's not the same since I left.
But they're great. I fully support them, and they're doing a great job. Leanne and TJ, and I think and Morgan too. She's awesome.
I don't know any of them. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, they're great. They're doing a great job.
Listen,
better them than me getting up that early. To be honest,
it's not the same without me. Just saying. It isn't.
I don't think you want any follow-up after that, though.
Yeah. Okay, let's just end here.
This is Due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast with Dave, Rachel, and Forman, brought to you by HCR Permanent Search, our new sponsor.
Yes, that's right.
If you want to enhance your career as a diesel mechanic and get off shift work, and actually get benefits that we know you are not getting right now, you do not want to miss out on this opportunity. This is a career change for you.
Okay.
Full-time, permanent, straight day shifts.
Day shift. You don't even have to work nights.
No.
Do most diesel
days.
mechanics work nights? They work shift work. So
shift work. So it's changing all the time.
Right.
And you'll get full medical and dental plans, RSP program with company contributions.
What?
which we
Nobody
know
does
you're-
that anymore.
I know. We know you're not
Hardly.
getting. You get a clean and positive work environment and career advancement and training opportunities due to a strong presence all across North America. This is for any licensed diesel mechanic that's 310T or 310S. And this is locations across Southern Ontario. This client that HCR Permanent Search is working with has immediate openings in St. Thomas, Stratford, Goderich, Ancaster, and Burlington.
How about that?
lots of
How about that?
places.
So, I mean,
How
this is
common are diesel mechanics? Like, are there a lot of them out there?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many
Sure.
shops and places and different applications where you need them.
yes.
Well, of course. Yeah, I know that they're needed. So if you know someone, maybe you're not a diesel mechanic, maybe you know someone who is, and maybe they want to, get a better job.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
HCR Permanent Search can help them.
yeah.
I know I
well,
messed
not-
up. I
it's
keep
not
messing
just-
up the acronym. HCR.
Yeah, it's not just that. I like the fact that it's possible that you're a diesel mechanic, but your hours are all over the place. You never know when you're going to be working, or 1 week you're doing days,
Yeah.
1 week you're doing that. This is full on permanent straight day shift. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, well, if you want to apply, you can go to their website. It's www.hcrpermsearch.com. hcrpermsearch.com.
Again, Usher is at the Super Bowl. Rachel's still saying www.
I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I said that. As soon as I started, I was like, I don't need this. This is...
HCRpermsearch.com.
I know. I don't know
or
why I even started with the W.
If you can remember this, I'll put it in the notes of the podcast so you can
Yeah.
see it written out. But you want to send your resume through email to Kyle Russell, which is K Russell, RUSSELL, at hcr.ca.
There you go.
2 S's, 2 L's in Russell. K Russell at hcr.ca. Yeah, you can apply if you know a diesel mechanic, or maybe you are one. You want a better job. Who doesn't want to work straight days? God, that makes your life easier.
This
sure
is
it
such
does.
like a great career job where you don't have to work. Yeah, you're not all the time.
Where
It's
are
some
the
small
locations
shop.
again? They want people...
St. Thomas, Stratford, Goderich, Ancaster, and Burlington. This client
Right.
has immediate openings. So anyone who's
Okay.
a 310T or 310S licensed diesel mechanic, this is the
Get
dream
on it.
job that you signed up to become a diesel mechanic to get in the first place.
Yeah, get
Okay.
on it. Get on
Great.
it. Get on it. This is due to underwhelming demand with Dave, Rachel, and Forman, the trailer of podcasts, the Tavis of podcasts, the Swelsey
Oh,
of podcasts.
are we?
Although we're not nearly as adorable.
I mean, speak for yourself.
Well, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm speaking for all of us. We're
No.
not nearly, no.
Are you sure we're not more like the Jason Kelsey of podcasts?
Hey, I like him. He's hilarious.
I like him too.
Oh,
I
yeah.
So
like-
funny.
I like all of them. I think it's.
I didn't know or care about either of the Kelsey brothers until Taylor started dating one of them.
Yeah,
So
there you
there
go.
you
I'm
go.
just
Wow.
jealous. Everyone thinks when Jason is shirtless and drinking in public, he's hilarious.
Yes.
Yes.
A little bit different when it happens here.
How do you pull that off? How do you pull that off? And by the way,
When you
Vic-
get into the fireball and rip off your tarps off
sure.
there,
Yeah,
it's too much.
no one's laughing.
Yeah. Those two, by the way, they have
Everybody's like, Forman, it's time to
they-
go home.
They have the #1 podcast right now, I believe, because I heard them say that
Jealous.
while I was
Yeah.
listening to their podcast.
Must
So,
be nice.
Yeah, they're doing all right. They're doing fine. We're just here to ride the crest.
That's right.
Well,
Of that.
I mean, Travis did say that Taylor was delighted by that, and Jason did say that his wife warned him, please don't do that before they went to the game, and he did it anyway.
What,
No,
take his
he's-
shirt off?
He
Yes.
basically
Oh.
said, he also said right back to I believe I'm going to have to. I believe I'm going to have to. And he told her, he warned her it was going to happen. It
Yeah.
did happen. And anyway.
I think that's hysterical.
Okay. Speaking of shirts, I have.
Yeah, what are
For
you
those
wearing?
of- if you want to watch us, you can watch us on.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you can
On
see
YouTube.
it. If you're
Oh,
not,
yeah.
you can check us out on YouTube.
I know
Well, if we
Forman-
go head to toe, Dave, I mean, nice Detroit Lions hat. I mean, you had a pretty good year considering their history.
Not a bad year. Not a bad year. They found a way, to lose. As they always seem to. I have a. I'm so proud of this. I have a Dildo Brewing Company T-shirt. Forman, I know you
Yeah.
already have one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I know
why
you
do
already
you
have
have that? You've never even been there.
Well, Forman hasn't either.
No, but
It's
my
just-
mom
look,
has, and my mom mailed it to me because that's the gift you
Right.
want from
Your
your
mom was
mom.
there.
A shirt that says dildo.
We did talk about that, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well-
actually have a friend who's from Dildo, Newfoundland, and she
Well,
was
let me
kind of
explain.
embarrassed to tell mainlanders where she was from.
Let me explain. I have seen this shirt as Forman got it, and I was jealous because his mom was there and got him the T-shirt. I don't know whether I'll ever make it to Newfoundland. My fear is, although I would like to go, and we just had a friend who went last summer, and we asked, is there enough to do there for, to make it worth your while, like 3, 4, 5, like, is there enough to do? She said, yeah. And I had asked her, if you're going and you get anywhere near a dildo, I need a shirt. I have to have a shirt. I've seen Forman's shirt. I've seen other people wearing the dildo, a
Shirt.
brewing company shirt.
Right.
And if you're going, buy me the shirt, give me a large. I will pay you. I will make
Like
sure.
people wear that
good
as
for
just
it.
an everyday out and about town shirt in Halifax.
Do
Like-
they?
Oh yeah, you see it
Of
everywhere.
course. Everybody wants one of. Why wouldn't you want one of these? They're funny.
Yeah, I mean that's
funny.
probably
It's
they
funny.
probably have great merch sales. Actually,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And Forman and I both have quite a few craft brewery beer shirts. So why wouldn't you want this one?
Yes.
Add that
So-
to your collection.
Yeah. So good friends of mine, of Jana and ours. They were aware that I think he had a friend who was traveling through Newfoundland, and I said to him, well, if he's in dildo, tell him to get me just get a large. I don't even care what color. Get the shirt. It never occurred to me to just go to the website. I mean, just go to the
order it.
website, Dave.
You can probably just
go to
order
the website and they'll send you a shirt. Anyway, so since this is our first podcast, really kind of since Christmas, for Christmas, my friend who I'd said, hey, if he's near dildo, went on the website and bought me my dildo shirt for Christmas.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And so as I'm opening the gift on Christmas Day, we're all together on Christmas. And as I'm opening the gift and I realize what it is, I'm like, I hold it up. I'm so proud. Dildo Brewing Company. My 17-year-old daughter says, quite and with conviction, you're not planning on wearing that. I said, I sure am. I sure am.
I'm gonna hang around school.
I'm going to wear this shirt.
I'm
Like,
coming here. I'm
she's-
coming to pick
she's
you up
just-
in this shirt.
Yeah. She's
Yes.
just like, whoa. So
Don't go anywhere near me, Dad.
At the same time, and these friends of ours, they're good friends, and they're great. They have a great sense of humor, and they're really great at buying gifts. They bought just almost simultaneously as I'm opening this, my wife Jana is opening, and I'll hold this up, and you guys can read it. Hold on, I always have trouble. There you go.
Dildos.
What a package of looks like a
It's
pickle.
German.
It's
German
bread.
bread.
It's bread. It says dildos on it.
DOUGHS.
Yeah, dildo is in
Dill,
dough for
D-I-L.
bread. German bread.
What are
There it
those?
is.
German dill pickle flavored
Well, I
bread.
think this is a
Dill pickle bread?
Yeah, it's bread.
Oh.
It tells you it's got instructions on the back, and you can make it. And it'll be.
Oh,
it'll
you
be-
make it.
Yeah, it'll be
Oh.
dill. It'll be dill flavored.
Oh.
Dildos.
Oh, interesting.
Dildos.
That's
Okay.
funny.
So they got this.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize this at the time. So here's I'll try to make this story very, very quick. Between Christmas and New Year's, my son told us at Christmas he got a gig playing at a new brewery in Grand Bend. And he was going to be there on it was the Saturday the 30th, I believe, of December.
Okay.
Day before New Year's Eve. He's going to be up there in the afternoon, like 3 in the afternoon, and we're like, we're coming. We're going to come up. We'll come up and we'll go see him. So the four of us, the friends, we all truck up, and I, because I know I'm going to be with my friends, I think, well, I better wear my dildo.
Obviously.
I'll wear my
the
dildo
gift.
brewing company
Yep.
when we go to, and we're going to a brewery anyway. And, so here's the thing when you wear a dildo shirt like this. I don't know, Foreman, if this has happened to you.
What is the thing when you wear a dildo shirt?
At
Tell
one
me.
point, so my son's
Tell me, guys.
Yeah, so my son's performing and doing his thing, and he's great. He's doing his thing, and there's a crowd of people who showed up, and they're sitting at a big table in the brewery, and they're quaffing some beers and everything else. So we're kind of
Quaffing some beers.
We're behind them, and they're starting to really party. There are couples. There were like 4 women and 4 guys, and they were having a good old time, and they're singing away and doing all this stuff. And then someone notices my shirt because they all turned and laughed. Right?
Yeah.
Then I had a woman who walked by me, and she goes, "I was just there last month."
Oh.
I'm like, this blows me away. This shirt that my 17-year-old doesn't want me to wear.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It
so
brings people together.
So
You have to wear it now.
Yes.
It
But
brings
as
people together.
As it
That
turns
it does.
out, as it turns out, we find out that our friends, in fact, had been to this brewery before Christmas, and as my son's performing and stuff like that, it becomes apparent to us that this is where the brewery was the one selling the
Dildo.
the dildo,
The pickle bread. Okay.
Yes. And so you know what it's
That
like.
makes sense.
You know what it's like when
I
when
assumed
there's-
that. Did you not assume that when you opened them?
that it came from a brewery? No,
Yeah.
I didn't assume that. But
Well,
anyway, they got so you know what it's like when the guys. There's music playing and everybody's having a good time.
Yeah.
You raise your voice as you're talking back and forth.
Right.
And so
Yes.
just as my son hit the last note of one of his songs,
Mm-hmm.
I hear Jana say very loudly, "Oh, so this is where you got my dildo."
That was better than I thought. That was better than I thought.
And
Very
my
good.
And my daughter's
Very
worried
good.
about and my daughter's worried about me wearing this shirt. My daughter's
Your mom just screaming about her dildo out in
Yeah.
public.
Oh,
it's-
this way.
So great when this joke can just be double-ended, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, is that about bringing people together?
Kind of.
Kind of.
You could be on your own.
Yeah.
That's the point.
This is due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast. We are Dave, Rachel, and Forman. We're reaching the point in our podcast where we read some of your messages. I want to do a couple of shout-outs. First of all, before we get to some of the messages, a shout-out to For Golf.
Oh.
I went.
Oh, did you?
Oxford.
In
I
Woodstock.
was there.
For
I went
Oxford,
to
yeah.
For Oxford. Sorry.
In Woodstock.
It's great. It's a lot of fun. Go for
Cool.
a drink. Go play indoor golf. Go play cornhole.
You did the golf, or did you
I
do?
did some golf. Yes.
Okay, good.
I
The
did.
virtual golf.
I was lucky enough to get a gift card to go there.
Oh,
and,
nice.
I'll tell you what. In Woodstock, there are the 3 busiest places on a Sunday are For Golf,
Mm-hmm.
Holy Cross Church, I believe, and I think the Meth Clinic. But I.
Well,
I'm not exactly
sounds
sure on
like
that.
you were at the best one.
I was at the best one.
Funnest
Anyway,
one.
So shout out to. So I did. I met Kyle. I also met Ben. They were
Oh, good.
Everybody was great. So
Oh, good.
had a
Well,
great
and they
time.
were a sponsor of ours, so thank you very
Yes.
much. Yeah, that's
thanks
awesome.
for believing in us, and
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed myself there. So go. It's a lot of fun. It really is. Also, shout out to the Happiest Service Ontario in Strathroy. Remember, Remember we did a whole thing on how I went to the Happiest Service Ontario because there isn't one, but I found one, and I went on my birthday, and it's Strathroy because Monica,
yeah.
my friend Monica, runs it. It was her business. Was is the key word here. Was
Right.
because. And it was a local business run by, like a local family business that the Ontario government just shut down.
They shut down the
Well,
one.
because it's going to be in Staples now
Yeah,
instead.
they're going to be in
What?
Staples. So shame on you. Shame
Why
on
are they
you
going to be
for
in
shut-
Staples?
I don't
Gosh, I miss
know.
everything.
You have
Anyway.
not paid attention
No,
to the
I've been in the hospital for the last
know
month.
you
I have
have.
no idea what's
I
going
know you
on.
have. I just
Not a
wanted,
clue.
on behalf of my friend Monica, come on, guys.
That's too bad.
It's a local business.
Yeah.
And this is a
Yeah.
sad shout out to me, to someone that I was lucky enough to call a friend I got to work with, and I actually was one of the main reasons why I wanted to be on the radio ever since I was like a kid. The late great Dick Williams. So just
Yes. Dick passed away. He was so great.
know that?
Yes. he
Yes,
did.
you didn't know that?
Yeah, it broke my heart.
Yeah.
He
Like
passed
over
away.
Christmas time.
Yeah, Early in January, he passed
Early
away,
January,
and he apparently had been sick. I did not know that.
I didn't know
seen
he
him
was
in a
sick.
while. I
Yeah.
hadn't seen him in a while, and I feel terrible because I just before we started recording this, he loaned me a book. Long time
And you
ago.
never gave it back?
I didn't give it back. Now,
No.
yeah. It was me, Dick.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dick, it was great. I was
He
so
was
lucky.
he was such a great guy.
He was
I
a
only
great
worked
guy.
with him for a couple years.
Yeah, he was doing the morning show on CKSL 1410 when that existed.
Yeah, I worked with him for a number of years at what is now known as Virgin, but CIQM Radio. That's still their call letters. And I'd known him before, but I grew up listening. He was on. I think he started on 980, which is still around. Dick, great guy. Just a great radio guy. Loved radio. Continued to do radio after he retired. So very sad. Very sad. Very sad.
Well, we have lots of messages from you because a lot of people were asking where we were when we were coming back
where'd you
because we
go?
took an extended break. And we also know that a lot of people aren't listening necessarily when the episodes come out. They've maybe you had time to catch up. Like Andre, who emailed us and said, I am listening to the episode where Rachel bought the cloud storage and I'm having a riot. If you are using an iPhone, I'm glad to help out where needed, as I have worked with it for years. I have the 200 gig plan, but I share it with my family and have set it so only what I want is saved and nothing more, and we always have access to it. I enjoy listening to the episodes as it always gives me a great laugh. Keep the episodes coming. I'm a longtime listener from BX93 Times, from Andre.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Will do.
Yes, I think I have set the iCloud storage to only save what I want. It's still maxed out, and so I pay for something that I don't know why.
You'll figure it out.
I don't know
Or
why,
not.
but now
Or
I'm
not.
paying for it as a business write-off. So
Perfect.
whatever.
Just write it off.
I see.
Sure.
Well, Melissa has sent us a message through our Facebook page. Melissa says, okay, now that Forman has had his real goodbye on 103.5 FM and left Nova Scotia, what is he really up to? I feel he has something special he wants to share with us now. Patiently waiting, Forman.
Oh, do you have anything special for us, Forman?
I'm also patiently waiting.
Yeah, no, there's nothing special happening. Yeah.
Lindsay is in the similar boat. She had said, when is the new episode coming out? And I said, soon, we promise. And she said, I hope soon, because I just had a very sad day here in Halifax, learning it would be the last day that I hear Forman's voice. So,
Oh, no.
no, it's not Lindsay, because you can hear it right now.
There's
so thank you.
Foreman. There's
Yeah.
his voice.
We like to hear our own voices. That's why we're doing this podcast. We just want to hear ourselves talk. That's why we're
Is
here.
that why?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I don't know if that's true.
No.
Hey, it's a different Melissa had also sent us a message
Okay.
saying, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but the keg is number 18 on Forbes' list of Canada's best employers.
Really?
Come on.
Number
really?
Wow.
18.
Well, you know why?
Actually, that's
I would
pretty
assume
sweet.
you must get good tips there.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
come on.
For sure you
Yes,
would.
Great.
because everyone else is
Absolutely.
everyone's paying for their meal and gift cards.
That's
so
right.
tip is all cash.
Yes,
Well, yeah.
Of course.
Like, fine, I didn't pay for my meal. I'll
That's
give
right.
you, $40 in a tip.
Yes,
Sure.
Of course.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We got an email from Bonnie Rideout, who, speaking of Service Ontario, Dave, she says, Foreman's bullshit with Service Ontario makes me really glad I'm moving out west in a few months because Service Ontario effing sucks. And I'll be glad to not deal with it anymore.
Well, you know what? You could have gone to see Monica at the happiest Service Ontario.
Well,
in
now it doesn't
Strathroy, but
exist.
Now you can't.
I know.
I
Now
know.
we're all going to have a miserable time. There's
Yes.
nowhere to go.
Yeah,
Nowhere
now
to go.
you're stuck doing my circle. You go to London, you go to St. Thomas, you go to Elmer, and you go back to London and back to St. Thomas again. Because not all three places can do all the services for Ontario.
Yeah,
And
that's
then you
ridiculous.
get to spend time at Staples.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll make it that much more convenient.
Who
Thanks,
wouldn't
Doug.
want that?
That's true. I have another email here. I just have to find it. This is from Ellen Pooley. She says, I love your podcast. I generally listen on Sunday mornings while I'm scrolling on Facebook and doing banking and such. Okay. You make me laugh every time. I hope you had a great Christmas and New Year's, and I can't wait for more episodes to come. Well, this one is here, Ellen. Oh, and
Just for
Rachel,
you.
I have also had a sleep test. It's ridiculous because they hook you up and they tell you to go to sleep. LOL, I sleep on my stomach, so that's not really happening. Hopefully nothing too serious found. I actually haven't gotten my results yet. I should probably call the doctor sure about that.
Takes a while.
I don't know. Anyway, so Ellen says thank you for the laughs. Thank you for listening, Ellen. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen, and thank you to the someone that bought us 4 coffees, by the way.
Yes,
yeah.
somebody
I
bought us
appreciate
4
that.
coffees.
Someone
It's
bought
amazing.
4 coffees. I love your podcast, and I look forward to listening to it every Tuesday morning when I wake up,
From Anonymous. People don't even put their names.
which is great. And you
Thank
sent
you.
that to us on January 31st, so you've been a month of Tuesdays without us.
Yes.
I
So
know.
finally, you got a Tuesday you can wake up with us.
Yeah.
Perfect.